Hello world, I'm Sabrina, and today's video is going to be all about grounding, centering, bringing yourself back to a nice calm place. So why do you need to ground? Why would you ground? One, just to slow down, and this is regardless of whether or not you're going to do divination or spell work. You can just use it in your daily life, just to slow down, take a breath, regroup. Obviously to center or ground yourself before you're going to do divination, calming down, or also just reconnecting to your physical body, especially in times where you're either all in your head, the day's kind of getting away from you and you start to feel that anxious, panicky feeling. This is a good time to bring yourself back to your body, back to your breath, and regroup. So the first thing, it's pretty obvious, is standing on grass or dirt or soil. If you have a yard, just get outside with your bare feet. If you don't have a yard, you can go to a park. You can go to the little plot of dirt that surrounds the trees on your sidewalk. Anything to kind of get your feet back into the earth, into the ground, so you can feel that connection again. If you don't have a really easy way to get to earth, to get to dirt, to get to grass, then you can just take off your shoes and socks, and you can even just touch your hands to your feet to kind of feel your feet again, because we wear shoes so much, we wear socks so much, especially maybe in colder weather when you're just living in socks. It's nice to kind of let your toes wiggle, let them feel the air, and you can do that if you don't have dirt or grass. Square breathing, and this is a lot of meditation stuff that some people might say like, oh, Sabrina, I have a hard time meditating. I can't sit still. I can't focus, whatever. That's fine. We're not here to meditate in this video. So square breathing is, you just think of it as a square. So you breathe in for 4 seconds, hold it for 4 seconds, breathe out for 4 seconds, and then hold that for 4 seconds. And you think of your breath as a square, and even that motion of watching a square in your mind's eye can kind of calm you down as well as you breathe. If you're familiar with yoga poses at all, I'm really partial to child's pose because it brings you really low to the ground and back into your body, especially like into your hips and your sacrum. Especially now that I'm pregnant, it's a great pose. You have a lot of room for your stomach. So you can do child's pose, or you can do legs up the wall. So lay on your back with your rump up against the wall, and then flip your legs up against the wall like that, and hang out as long as you want. And that will kind of reorient your blood flow and get it back to your brain and back into your chest cavity again, to kind of recycle the blood and the air within your body, and then you can kind of give yourself a fresh start that way. Read a spiritual book, and this might sound counterintuitive because you want to do something to ground yourself, you want to do something to bring you back to earth. Why would you read a spiritual book where it's all in your head and up out into the universe? For me, even reading a chapter, even reading a paragraph of any spiritual book, whether it's any holy book for your religion or spirituality, or a simple book kind of like I have these here, The Art of Happiness by the Dalai Lama and Howard Cutler, MD. There's just some nice meditative musings in here. So even just a couple of pages of this, or for the witchier types, Green Witch is really nice. This is by Erin Murphy Hiscock. And there's even a whole section in here, I found it the other day, on grounding and bringing yourself back to yourself and back to the earth. There are a couple of meditations in there, but there's also stuff you can do that's associated with green witchery, like gardening or talking to trees and plants, stuff like that. You can even read a little bit out of here to maybe give you some inspiration, maybe just get your mind out of whatever you're worried about at the moment and bring you back to something grounded in earth. For those of you who do like to meditate, I do this visualization sometimes. You can imagine roots coming out of the bottom of your feet and like send them all the way down into the center of the earth and wrap those roots around the center of the earth. And that can help you feel really connected to the earth and like the pulse and the vibration of the world if it was a living, breathing thing, because it is. I like to do that one a lot, especially in groups. It's a nice group meditation. And if you get out of it and you're like, my roots are going down. Oh, my dog barked. That's fine. Just come back to it. I'm like, all right, my roots are going to keep going. They keep going. And just take however long you need. Don't worry about it. You're doing your own thing. Or if you want to get a little extra credit points, you can do a candle grounding spell meditation thing. I like to use brown because it reminds me of the earth. You can also use green. You can use white. You can even use little tea lights like that. Whatever you have. But if you want to really get into it, I would go for a brown candle. And these are little chime candles. They're about that big. So what I would do first with this is, what's my intention? What's my purpose? I need to ground. I need to center. I want to feel reconnected to the earth. So I take this brown candle and I would hold it and I would think about all of the things that I want to feel after this candle has burned down. So I want to feel grounded. I want to feel stable. I want to feel connected. And I take that and I put that into my candle. Then you can anoint it if you have oils. If you just have regular, like essential aromatic oils, think earthy scents. So I have cedar wood, I have pine, I have cypress, anything earthy, tree-like, stuff that like would smell like a wet forest. And you're just like, yes. Or if you make oils, and I'll probably do this in another video, I have a specific healing oil blend. So if you have a custom healing oil, a grounding oil, even a protection oil, if you just want to be like, oh, I need space and I need to be flat. Like if you just want to put your arms like that, like a cat over a bathtub. So I could use my custom healing oil blend as well. So any oil you decide to use, you take a little bit, you just kind of wake it up, and you start at the center of your candle if it's a chime, and you go down to the edge, and you flip it, and you go up to the tip, and you can even get some on the wick, and then you have a little leftover, and you got some nice perfume. So now your candle is anointed. And after that, you can also carve sigils, words into your candle. So I could carve my name, and then I could put grounding, peace. You can also write those on here as well. And then you light it, and then you leave it. You can sit with it for a while, and even watching the flame kind of, that's a good meditation in itself to bring you back to something physical, something tangible that you can focus on. That's not your own thoughts. And you can watch it, or you can light it, go off, do another thing. Just don't leave it completely unattended, especially if you have, pets or kids or both. Just be careful with your fire, please. Thank you. So that's that. And I have one more thing, and this is more of a moving, grounding meditation. So we're going to take it over to Sabrina in the grounding meditation corner to show you the next step. So I chose one of the rainiest days of the week to go outside, but that's okay because we're getting close to the earth. I brought some crystals with me, selenite for cleansing, clear quartz for focus and grounding, rose quartz for love, black tourmaline for protection, more selenite. I'm so lucky to have so much selenite. If you don't have any or all of these crystals, don't worry about it. I just brought what are some of my favorites, so bring what are some of your favorites. And then grab your ankles or your shins and bring it around town, as SpongeBob would say. You can really feel into those hips and your sacrum, and it just gets out all the aches and creaks, and it brings you back down to earth. So back to you, Sabrina. Thanks, Sabrina. So, whether you decide you want to move your body to get more grounded, to get more back into your physical self, or you want to do candle magic or intellectual things such as meditation or reading, that's great. But again, the point for me is to reconnect to my body. And like I said, every day is different. So one day you might need to be more physical. Another day you might need to be more mental. Another day you might need to connect more spiritually. But any of those things for me still create a grounding sensation and mentality so I can feel like I'm part of this earth again and in my own body. And it's good for those times too when you might just be a little too spaced out and you need to kind of get some energy again too. This, even though all this stuff is it seems very passive, you'd be surprised how much energy you can get back just from sitting and thinking about roots coming out of your feet, or lighting a candle and sitting with it for a few minutes. All of these things can help you. So with that, I hope you enjoy this video. I wish you luck with grounding, and I will see you on the other side.